With us now is Justin Wolfers, professor of economics and public policy at the University of Michigan. And professor, you have been over the last couple days what I call aggregated. Some comments that you've made on the state of the economy making the rounds all over the internet. You say early stages of a worrying trend, right? And that has to do with what we saw in September, the unemployment rate actually ticking up. And inflation continues to be persistent. And when you get a rising unemployment rate and persistent or rising inflation, what does that equal?
You're looking for a word. It's going to be on my next Macro 101 exam, stagflation. So stag is stagnation. That's when the economy slows, sometimes when it goes backward. I was just looking at the markets. They're suggesting there's roughly a 1 in 3 chance of a recession over the next year. So that's the stag. Deflation is inflation. When inflation currently has remained stubbornly high, it's stuck at about 3%. The president continues to deny that prices are rising at all. The real question is, how do we get inflation down from 3 to the Fed's target of 2? And that's occurring at a moment when we've got tariffs that are pushing things in exactly the wrong direction.
So the Treasury Secretary just seemed optimistic that 2026 will be a better year. And the Vice President of the United States, seeming to quote Guns N' Roses, says all we need is a little patience. Listen.
Even though we've made incredible progress, we understand that there's a lot more work to do. And the thing that I'd ask for the American people is a little bit of patience. This economy was not harmed in 10 months.
So what do you think? That if Americans wait, things will get better?
I just want to take you back to my junior year of high school. I didn't do very well, actually. I came back and I brought my report card home and showed my grades to my mum. And my mum said, "What do you think here?" And I said, "Well, Mum, patience. Next year, my senior year is going to be a whole lot better." I think any parent there would recognize that the subtext there is actually what I was doing, was recognizing the reality that I'd just had a pretty bad year. I couldn't continue to talk about where I was or how things are currently going. And so I was making hopeful promises about the next year.
The president just a short time ago, and you've spoken out regularly against the president's tariffs as, contributing to an increase in prices and holding back the economy. I'm not going to read people the statement he just made on social media because it's a lot of words here, and it's a little hard to digest here. But he basically says the full benefit of tariffs has not been calculated yet, and the United States is just going to keep making more and more money off of them, and it's going to be better and better. What do you say to that?
Well, I think he's right to say if there's a benefit of tariffs, it hasn't come yet. Because if there is a benefit, the benefit would be that you make it more profitable to build a new factory in the United States, and it takes a long time to build a factory. Now, here's the thing. If that's your logic, you will also understand that the current tariff regime is also not going to yield that benefit. Because in order for me to break ground on a new factory, I'm going to sit down with my finance nerds and we're going to crunch some numbers and we're going to think about how profitable will this be over the next 10 years, 20 years or 30 years. The problem is the tariff regime, whatever it is on Monday, it's changed by Tuesday, and then the president's in a bad mood by Wednesday. And then someone said something mean in the middle school cafeteria on Thursday and the tariffs are back on or back off. And there's nothing here that allows me to rely on this being an enduring change in the business environment. So if there were benefits, they'd be in the future. But if you wanted future benefits, you would create a very different tariff regime.
Professor Justin Wolfers, I am very grateful that you turned things around after your junior year, and I imagine the kids in your Economics 101 class feel the same way. Thanks so much for being with us.